What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review, and this time we're going to be taking a look at the 1981 one-hit wonder that is My Bloody Valentine. Released during the 80s slasher craze, especially the horror-themed 80s slasher craze, this one takes a stab at making Valentine's Day a holiday to die for. Okay, I'm going to do my best to keep this review very brief and try to make it very short as possible. My Bloody Valentine is actually one of the better one-hit wonder horror movies that come out from the 1980s. This is a very enjoyable movie. It's a good whodunit story. I like the story in general. I like how the this small town of Valentine Bluff. Yes, the town's called Valentine Bluff, and whatever, just roll with it. It's cheesy, it's campy, it's stupid, it's dumb, but it's very entertaining. But I like how this town has this urban legend of a guy named Harry Warden, who on Valentine's Day went crazy and killed people. Now we're fast forward to present day in the movie, and kids want to have a Valentine's Day party. Harry Warden shows up, and he starts ripping and railing and killing everyone in sight. Uh, One of the things I do like about this movie is that I do like the use of his practical effects. I think that the practical effects in this movie look really good. The kills are pretty cool. There's one scene where Harry carves out. You don't really see it happen. You see the aftermath. He carves out a woman's heart, then he shoves her into a dryer. And seeing the aftermath is really gruesome. But it's a good. But it's a good. A special effect dummy work. I really enjoyed it a lot. Uh, the acting in this movie, it's an 80s cheesy horror movie. You get what you get. It's campy. It's not bad, but it ain't good. But it does have some unintentionally funny moments. There are two moments. There are two acting moments in this movie that come across to me as very unintentionally funny. There's one scene where the mayor is talking to the town sheriff, right? And he opens up Valentine's Day box, thinking he's gonna get some delicious candy, right? Then he sees a note and he sees a human heart, and he's just like, oh, "It can't be happening again. It can't be happening again." It's like, what the hell am I watching? And then you got this other scene where this guy, he sees his girlfriend. I'm sorry. This guy sees his girlfriend dead, hanging from something, right? And he just looks at her, and he just does this. He literally has the look of someone realizing they just locked their keys inside of their car. This movie is awesome. I love it. It's just fucking great. Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to watch these scenes in the context of the movie to appreciate just how unintentionally funny they are. But aside from all that stuff, like I said, I do like the idea of Harry Warden being an urban legend of the town that they're trying to keep secret. But I also like some of the character relationships in this movie. Um, you know, there's a love triangle that's happened in this movie, and it's actually done fairly well. And I like how these are not your typical teens. Since it takes place in a very small town, a lot of the men they work in the mines. So right there, you establish that they're very blue collar, hard workers, and that kind of breaks the mold of the dumb teen thing that the 80s became known for. My Bloody Valentine was one of the first movies to break away from that mold. I mean, they're still dumb, but they're blue collar worker dumb. Yeah, is what I'm trying to say. But you got this love triangle between these characters, Sarah, TJ, and Axel. It's done fairly well. TJ and Axel are constantly at each other's throats with one another, and when you get to the to the ending of the movie, it kind of adds a different layer to it, especially when you watch the whole thing through. When you get to the big twist at the end of the movie, when it's revealed that the character of Axel was the killer all along, that Harry Warden has actually died in a mental hospital, but it's revealed that Axel saw his father get offed by Harry Warden. But speaking of Harry Warden and the minor character, I actually like the look of the miner. It has a very it's a very unique look. You know what I'm saying? The gas mask and just and everything about it. It has a very imposing look, and it's a kind of a shame that the miner never really achieved any mainstream success as a reoccurring character. Because I think you could have done a whole lot more with the character itself. Uh, I also like the idea of the whole last act taking place inside the mine itself. It creates this dark, gritty, claustrophobic atmosphere that's very tension filled and very tension. It's filled with tension, adds a lot of suspense to the last half of this movie. I actually really like it a lot. The first half of this movie, we establish the town, the characters. We get a couple of kills here and there. We get moments of tension here and there. And it's all done fairly well. I do like the direction of this movie. You know, the direction is really fine, even though the acting could be hilariously bad, but entertainingly bad. And you do get those, you know, and you do get some really good moments with the characters as well. You know, bless their hearts, they're actually trying to be very likable people, and for the most part, they really, really are. You know, I like the chemistry with all the actors, and I especially like the character of Happy, who's this bartender who tells the story of Harry Warden, and he just gives this over the top melodramatic soliloquy, and it's just hilarious. Like, I'm gonna tell you something, Harry Warden, you asshole kids. This movie is great. I love it. Oh man. Alright, so yes, those are just my quick thoughts on My Bloody Valentine. In case you haven't noticed, I don't hate this movie. I really, really like it a lot. I think it's gloriously cheesy, hilariously awesome. You got a cool character in the minor. You got you got decently written characters, even though the acting is very laughably bad. But it's not bad. It's not cringe bad. It's bad in the terms of they're trying really, really hard. They're just not good enough actors to make their performances seem serious. At least to me, that is. You know, I like the whole aesthetic. I like the whole story of this movie. I like the whole aesthetic of the mine and the tension within the mine. I like the production value of this movie, the practical effects work. The small town setting adds a very adds a different layer to this movie as well. Like, you know, the small town setting where everybody knows your name, everyone knows everyone, and this whole town's hiding a secret that no one else knows about. Especially when the killings start, they try to hold even more secrets. So I thought the stuff was fairly well done. Yeah, my overall final grade from My Bloody Valentine is a solid 8 out of 10. This is pure 80s horror cheese. If you don't like this movie and appreciate it for what it is, then how can you call yourself a fan of horror movies? But if you do like this movie, let me know in the comment sections down below. Like this video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.